afternoon, friends. Join me. This might be kind of a mess, but when is it not? Join me as, so I'm coloring these characters I'm giving to my friend for her birthday. So, and I really need to get it done. So join me as I color, and we can talk about, books. My desk is a mess. That's why you can't see it. Oh, what's this in the way? Oh, lotion. Okay, move that over there. So I'm gonna try and film like a bunch of shit because I just have some ideas. I'll show you the finished product of this if I finish while we do this. Shoot, where did the brown go? So I might be a little distracted. We're just gonna try and run with it. I'm feeling very hyper in this moment, if you could not tell. So first video I want to film is an anti-TBR video. I've been seeing them, going around, but I had the idea to make an anti-TBR video, and then, well, basically, if I'm spewing stuff off, you might not even know what that is. An anti-TBR video. TBR stands for to be read. So it's like all the books on your shelf that you want to read. So an anti-TBR is like, these are popular books. I guess in general, they're just books that don't want to read ever. But in my case, I'm going to talk about popular books that I'm never going to read and that I'm going to get shade for telling you I never want to read them. Except the twist is that I'm going to read one of them for this video because, I don't know, that's kind of scandalous. That's kind of fun. You can see me rant about a book that I hate because I never wanted to read it, or be surprised by a book I never wanted to read by liking it. So we're just gonna get my list. This page is ripped, but I'm gonna go through my list. Oh, you can see the page. That's fun. Go through my list, and then I'll tell you which one I'm gonna end up reading for this video. So, yeehaw. So first, just generically, I just don't really like thrillers or horror. I'm really weird. I love watching other people play horror games. I love Markiplier, for example. My boyfriend and I just watched him play. I'd already seen it a long time ago, but I showed him playing Outlast because I love Outlast. The second one, not as good, but the first one, great. I highly recommend Mark's Let's Play of it. Not for the faint of heart. Definitely 18 plus, even though I watched it when I was 15 for the first time. Oops! Definitely not for kids, but I love it. But when it comes to reading, I don't really enjoy horror or thrillers. I will read thrillers and horror rarely, but just in general, I just don't really vibe with it. So that's just as a rule. I generally, any popular thriller, any popular horror, I usually stay clear of, except Leanne Moriarty, but hers are a little different. Her, basic white Leanne Moriarty books. Catch me there. Well, it leads me right into Stephen King, which people are probably going to yell at me for because I have absolutely no interest. Not that I have no interest. Let me rephrase that. I have tried to read Stephen King books. I've tried to read his Gunslinger series that the Dark Tower movie was based off of. I heard that was horrible, by the way. I've tried to read that. I didn't understand what was going on. I tried to read 11/26/62 or whatever that time travel book is. That's the only one I might actually end up reading one day. Couldn't get into that one. I've gotten recommendations from, I have a couple friends who are really into Stephen King, and they've recommended me some. I just can't. I just have never been able to get into one. And I know it's scandalous. I know I should be able to get into him, but I can't do it. I don't know if I'm ever going to read a Stephen King book. I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know if it's ever going to happen. He's just not my vibe. I just can't get into him. Anyway, I'm trying to keep this portion short because I'm reading a whole book for this video, so we're just going to move right along. The next author I will never read from. See, I have authors and then books on here as well. The next author is Colleen Hoover. Listen, I'm not super into romance. I definitely am a little bit. I've read Bromance Book Club, loved it. Read Chloe Brown, loved it. I'm definitely dipping my toe in. Loved The Hating Game. We're getting there slowly but surely. But Colleen Hoover, I've just heard too much bad shit about. I'm going to be completely honest. I've just heard so much, that she's not good. So, why? Oh, a page. Why would I read about toxic shit? You know what? I just don't wanna. So I'm never gonna read from Colleen. Sorry if you like her. So I don't know. People love her too. So, like, and I've heard a lot of people love some of her books and hate some of her other ones. Like, Books and Lala talks about that, how some of them, like, are the worst, but she likes a lot of other ones. So, I don't know. But anyway, I still don't think I'm ever going to read from her. Like, I know that might be controversial. This whole video might be, I don't know. You fight me. I mean, I'm not mad if you like all these people or all these books. I'm just saying, you know, what I've heard, in my opinion. So, yeah. Anyway. Next up, I got Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. Like, Aveyard? I don't know. I just heard that... Ooh, this is not the color I want. That looks ugly. You know, we'll go with it. We'll layer it. I was, like, really interested in reading this book at one point. And now I've kind of lost all interest because I've heard it's bad. And my sister read Red Queen. My sister is not a huge reader, but she has read some. Like, she's read, like, the Lunar Chronicles. She's read the Cruel Prince trilogy, which I still need to read. Rip. She read Red Queen, and she was like, this was not that good. I have some other friends who have liked it, though. But I don't think they've read the whole series, because I know there's, like, 4 books or some craziness. So, oh, this is not looking good, guys. I need to fix this lady's skin tone because it looks bad. I just don't want to read it. I thought I wanted to because, you know, superheroes and shit, but I just heard it's not good, so I'm kind of staying clear of it. The next one is, so, flashback to, you know, like, not elementary school, Jesus Christ, to high school Claire. She read the Shatter Me trilogy in, like, 4 days and loved it. It was incredible. I loved it so much. Great. And then she came out with like 3 more books, and guess who's never going to read them? Me. I don't care. What happened in the original trilogy, I want to keep as the series in my head. So I'm just going to stick with that. You know what I mean? It's just going to stay like that. And I don't want to mess with it. You know, I want to keep it preserved as that story because I've just heard so much happens in the next 3 books. And, you know, I don't want to know. I just want to keep the original 3 as the original 3. So, yeah. What's next on my list? Oh, Legend by Marie Lu. This is another one. Like, I feel like I've missed some of these, like, really hot, like, YA. Hot as in, like, not steaminess. Hot as in, like, very popular. I missed a lot of them. Like, I missed Legend. I missed Red Queen, and I just have no urge to go back, you know, like, I missed it, and I'm fine with that, like, I'm good never knowing, you know what I mean, like, Legend, I used to own that book, I, like, started it once, and I was like, this is just, like, every book I've ever read. I've heard Marie Lu is really good, and I would have interest in reading maybe, like, Warcross, I've heard that's good, or I feel like she's written a lot, so I would definitely have interest in her as an author, but just not the Legend books, personally, so... We're skipping on that one. The next, I have 2 left. The next one is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. This is another one I owned that I thought I wanted to read at one point, and then I learned some stuff about, like, the 3rd book in the series. I think there's 4. I learned some stuff about book 3 that I was like, never mind. Like, some stuff happens in book 3 that I was like, ew, like, it would ruin the series for me, and I'm not going to spoil it or anything. But I was like, you know what? No. So I got rid of it. I just like, nope, like, hard stop. I just did not care anymore. And I've heard that the 3rd book isn't great anyway, and just, I don't want to invest, and, like, I don't know, again, I started it, and I was like, this is, like, every YA book I've ever read, and sometimes that's okay, and, like, you're like, you want the familiarity, but with that, I was just like, I'm okay letting this go, you know what I mean? So, another color, nice, this is brown, this is purple. Dark brown. All right, cool. And then lastly, I don't really want to read the Selection Trilogy by Kierkegaard. I know people say it's great and horrible at the same time. I feel like if I read it when I was younger, I would feel the same way. But as a 22-year-old, I just feel like all the characters would drive me buck wild. And I don't want to do it to myself at this age. So I'm never going to read them. I'm sorry. It was another YA fad that I missed out on. And it's just not going to happen. So anyway... The book that I am going to end up reading for this video is, you could probably guess because I was saying my sister read it, Sorry, my bed is bare right now, but it's Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This is my sister's copy. It's all messed up because she brought it to the beach. Like, look at this. She brought it to the beach and it got sand all in it. Yeah. I'm going to read this and you're going to see what I think. So, anyway, that's one video down I'm going to film. So, if you see me coloring in I guess I should show you my progress. Here we go. I really messed up both of these girls' skin tones, so we're going to come back and fix it later, but I'll see you in a second in another video. You can see me progress on my little art project here. Okay, anyway, bye. Good morning, everyone. I'm in my pajamas, as per usual. I have an update for Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. I'm about a third of the way through, maybe a little less than a third, maybe a quarter. It sucks. I'm not having a good time. First of all, it's like every book that followed the Hunger Games because of the Hunger Games popularity. Like, it's like that. The beginning, like, she's living, like, the pacing is atrocious. So if you guys don't know what Red Queen is about, it's about this girl named Mare who is she has red blood, and then basically all the rich, royal, noble people have silver blood, and there's, like, prejudice and blah, blah, blah. And let me see if it says it on the back. Oh, never mind. My sister ruined the back. Oh, no. Okay, yeah, it says it on the back. So basically, you can see where this is going. She figures out that she's a silver, not a red, except we don't actually know because she is a red. She has red blood, but she has abilities, and they haven't explained that yet, like why the heck that's going on. So she finds out she has silver blood and, like, goes to live in the palace, blah, blah, blah. So that's where I'm at right now. She's in the palace. But, like, the pacing, like, obviously the author, like, wanted to get a character from the slums to the palace, right? Like, that's the story. That's, like, every YA whatever. And from the, like, 2011. When was this published? Sorry, I need to know this for science. 2015. This is a little newer than I thought. Anyway, like, the way she gets to the palace is just atrocious. The pacing is awful. Like, her and her friend Keylorn, I think that's his name, are going to be, like, conscripted for war. But then they're like, oh, let's just run away, which was, like, every decision is, like, just on the spot. Like, everything that happens, there's no foreshadowing, no build-up. It just happens, and I'm left, like, what the heck? Every single time. So they're like, oh, we'll just run away. And then they fail to run away. And then she meets the prince, not knowing he's the prince. And then he's like, oh, I got you a new job. And so she won't be conscripted. And then at the new job, she discovers she has... I'm going to spoil this book, by the way. Spoilers. At this job, she discovers she has these powers, which actually isn't a spoiler, but whatever. I'm going to spoil it for the rest of this video anyway. So she's like, she, like, falls on this, like, force field. And it's like, oh, instead of dying, she just has powers. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It's like, we hit the ground at 1 million miles per hour, like... and then it's like, okay, we'll just pretend that she's, like, a silver and that she's a princess and now she's marrying our son. And this all happens in literally 48 hours. Like, the beginning of this book was 48 hours ago. And I'm like, what? What the fuck? Like, there's no pacing. We're just at 1 million right now. So, it's not like... Oh, also, there's been some weird, like... things that make me a little uncomfortable. Like, she walks into a kitchen when she's, like, at this serving job, and basically she's like, she describes, there's, like, a family eating in the kitchen, and she describes them as a fat family, and then continues to, like, mention, like, oh yeah, the fat family in the kitchen. And I'm like, what? It's a little wrong with me. And then there's this other part where, so the queen can, like, control minds, and and Mare's father is in a wheelchair because he's paralyzed, I think. I don't think it explicitly says, but he's in a wheelchair. And there's this part when Mare first arrives at the palace that the queen can control minds, and she like makes Mare feel like she can't feel her legs. And Mare's like, wow, like, this is the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Like, I wonder if this is how Dad feels, like, all broken. And I was like, oh my god, the ableist language? Like, I was kind of horrified. I was in my car listening to the audiobooks because I don't really want to read this with my eyeballs. And I was like, when I was driving, like, Like, this was only, I thought this book was older than it was, but this was only 6 years ago, homie. Like, catch up. Like, it's not the worst thing I've ever read, but I'm not really entertained. I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm gonna finish it because I like to torture myself, but, like, it's not that good. Anyway, that's my update. I'll probably update when it's finished, when I finish it, unless something crazy happens. Who knows? Anyway, this book is so bad. I know I said I was going to spoil it, so we're going to talk about some spoilers. I'm almost done with it. I'm kind of, like, selectively listening to it, so sometimes some things have happened, I'm like, what the heck? Or maybe it's just bad storytelling, I don't know. But the only interesting part that's happened in this book so far is Cal just killed his father, like, accidentally or whatever the hell. That was kind of interesting, but the rest of this book makes me want to just recline. So we're going to hang out over here. Actually, this is going to look really weird to anyone passing by in my neighborhood, so we're not going to do that. But the character relationships, I don't understand. Like, she's like, oh my god, I love Maven. And I'm like, name one thing about Maven. Like, name one thing. When he betrayed them, I was like, okay, I'm confused because I know nothing about this character. There's, like, the scenes with them, they'll talk for, like, 4 seconds, and then she's like, oh, and then we dance for a while. Or they'll kiss, and she's like, okay, then we stop. And I'm like, how do you feel? Like, how does this person make you feel? Like, what is their personality? It's non-existent. It's, like, at least, like, I don't know, I've read a lot of other copies of, like, that dystopian prejudice, blah, blah, blah. I've read a lot of copies of that, and, like, at least the characters are interesting. No one's interesting. I just want it to be over. I have one more part left in the audiobook, and wow, is it, I think I'm going to finish it today. Wish me luck. Hello, everyone. It's a little bit later. Can I speak? I'm in my pajamas, like always. It's only like 5 p.m., but I was like, you know what? It's pajama time. I have finished Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. It's getting 2 stars. I didn't like it at all. The only part I even liked a little bit is the ending, but I have absolutely no desire to continue with the series because I know there's like 3 or 4 books and they're really big, so just I have no desire. This book was just really detached is the best way I can describe it. I felt no attachment to any of the characters. Mare's brother, Shade, dies at the beginning, and I felt nothing. I kept forgetting he was dead. That's how she's just, Mare doesn't feel grief for him, so I kept forgetting that he existed until she was like, oh, I sure do miss my brother Shade. And I'm like, no, you don't. You haven't thought about him for 75 pages. Like, you don't miss him because he is not in your thoughts. And then Shade was alive at the end, and I was like, okay, neat. Like, I felt nothing because these characters had no depth, and they were so one note, and I just felt nothing. There's so many books similar to this that are better than this. You know what? I'm going to look and recommend you some. I will be right back. I don't know. I just typed in books similar to Red Queen, and Red Queen came up, so thank you. I feel like the Lunar Chronicles has the, like, Lost Princess royalty shit, and that's so much better. Like, let's click on this Goodreads link. Like, I don't know. Just read the Hunger Games, guys. Like, I think Cinder's a good example. Shatter Me, much better. I'm looking at that. Shatter Me, yeah, that's similar. Has, like, the powers, the revolution, garbage. Yeah, read Shatter Me. Read Shatter Me or Cinder, okay? That's my recommendation for you. Don't read this. I did not like it. I understand why people don't like it, and I didn't like it. I don't know who does like this. Like, let me read a review. A 4.03 average rating. Maybe I'm just crazy. Who, give me a review. Okay, one of my people I follow gave it 1 star, so that makes me feel a little bit better. Oh, a lot of people I follow, 2, 3, 2, 1, sorry. Oh my god. Somebody liked it because of this stupid trope, anyone can betray anyone, but that was repeated 400,000 times throughout this book, and I want to cry. Like, I just don't care. She also said, I think fans of Shatter Me will like this, especially if you're Team Warner. No, because Warner's far more interesting. Everybody, all my friends like this book. Oh God, except my sister. Me and my sister, maybe we're homies. Like, oh my God, I'm looking at all my friends on Goodreads and they all liked it. Maybe I'm just dumb. Oh no, we are getting into some 2 stars. All right, well, everyone's saying it's X-Men. No, it's not. Okay, I might have an unpopular opinion, but I didn't like it. And I'm kind of disagreeing with what everyone said. So I'm just going to leave before I get angry. So anyway, that's the end of this anti-TBR video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you have a great evening. Bye!